In this video, we'll look at a few examples of how to solve equations with divisions or fractions. So for example, I have 3/4 x minus 7 equals 5. In this problem, I have a constant that is a subtraction. Then I have the 3x divided by 4, or 3/4 multiplied by x. So in this situation, I have a multiplication, 3x, and a division, divided by 4. Fraction on the numerator is multiplication, denominator is division. So we're going to start on the side where the variable is and start with the constant, an inverse operation, which is addition. So first I'm going to add 7 to both sides of the equation. So plus 7 on both sides. Now when I bring down my 3/4 x, I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication of 3 times x divided by 4, which is still 3/4 x, but now I'm using multiplication and division as operations. On this side of the equation, I have 4 plus 7, which is 12. Now at this step, I'm going to look at the division, which is over 4, or the numerator divided by 4. That is going to be my inverse operation, multiplication. So to get rid of this denominator, I'm going to multiply by 4 both sides of the equation. So when I multiply by 4, 4 will simplify, and what is going to be left is the 3x. 3x will equal 12 times 4, 48. And the last step, where I have the 3x is multiplication, so the inverse operation will be division. So I will divide by 3 both sides. And now my 3 divided by 3 is a unit, or 1x, which is x. And then 3 goes into 18. If I do my long division, 16 times. So the solution for the first example is 16. And going backwards, if I check, 3 times 16 is 48. That was my 48. Divided by 4, that's 12. And then 12 minus 7 equals 5. Let's look at another example. -4 is the constant, so that is subtraction, which inverse operation is addition. So first I'm going to add 4. Then I see this fraction, -5/6 times x, which means -5 times x divided by 6. So if I break this problem into operations, I have a subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm going to start with the constant and use the inverse operation. So I'm going to add 4. Adding the 4 to both sides creates a 0 pair. So now I have this fraction, which again is a multiplication and division. So I'm going to rewrite this as -5x divided by 6. -9 plus 4 is -5. Different sign, we subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So now I look at the denominator, that is 6. It means that my variable term -5x is divided by 6. So to get rid of this denominator, I'm going to multiply by 6 both sides of the equation. So step 2, multiply by 6. On the left side, we have 6 divided by 6, which will cancel, and then -5x will be the multiplication of -5 and x, equal -30. And the division by -5 on both sides will be the third step, divide by negative 5. Negative divided by negative is 1, so we always divide by the same number to create that unit or the x, 1x, which is x. And then the solution on the other side, negative divided by negative is positive 6. In the next example, I have the numerator, which is divided by 4. So I can't separate this into constant and multiplication and division. This is the whole numerator divided by 4 equal 10. So what I need to start with is get rid of the denominator. In other words, use the inverse operation and multiply by 4 both sides of the equation. So when I multiply by 4, the 4 will simplify the 4, and what is going to be left is my numerator, negative 9x minus 5, and then 10 times 4 will be 40. Now I can use the inverse operation of subtraction, which is addition, and then divide by negative 9. So I'm going to do addition, the constant, add 5 to both sides, create that 0 pair, bring down the negative 9x, which is a multiplication of negative 9 and x. The inverse operation is division, so I'm going to divide by negative 9. We always divide by the same number because negative divided by negative is positive 1, which is the unit for 1x, which is x. And then on the other side, 45 divided by negative 9 will be negative 5. So when the whole numerator is divided by a number, that's where you start. You start with the denominator and use the inverse operation. Denominator means division, so inverse operation is multiplication, and you have to multiply that same number. So we multiply both sides of the equation by negative 3. So here's my step 1. Multiply by negative 3. What that does is eliminates the denominator, and now the numerator will be 8 minus 2x equal negative 18. Then we'll use the inverse operations. So we have here positive 8, which is the constant representing addition, and negative 2x, which is the multiplication of negative 2 times x. This same expression means negative 2x plus 8. So inverse operation will be subtract the 8 to create the 0 pair. So I'm going to say step 2, I subtract 8. Negative 2x comes down, so it's negative 2 multiplied by the x value. Here we combine negative and negative, we add the numbers, and that will be negative 26. Then, if the variable is multiplied by a number, the inverse operation is to divide by that number. So divide by negative 2, where negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1x, or x. Negative divided by negative is positive, and that is the solution 13.